begun. The next gen war has. Wow, just wow. That was a presentation that we needed to see from Sony. Uh, I'm now, it's been what now, like 4, 5, 6 hours since that presentation that came out this morning, and I am still blown away by everything that Sony announced today in regards to the launch and to the first year of the PlayStation 5. Sony needed to hit a home run, and they hit multiple grand slams today, from everything from a release date to an incredible price to incredible games coming out at launch and some incredible announcements we knew were coming but didn't expect, and even some amazing exclusive games that we knew were probably in the works but didn't expect them to be exclusive. Wow, it's hard to really explain how I feel about this other than as a longtime PlayStation fan, as a longtime video game fan. Today they showcased many reasons, once again, why a PlayStation 5 is worth getting. Now, I want to talk about the event today, obviously, a little later than a lot of the other YouTubers out there, because one of the reasons I did that was, number one, the show was on at 5 o'clock in the morning in Japan, and I was really tired by the time that thing was over. So I wanted to get some time to get some rest. But also, there's been some other news that's come since that conference that needs to be talked about because there's been really big announcements. So we're just going to go through everything that happened today on the PlayStation 5 event live stream, and also some of the details that came after that conference because there's some very important stuff. Now let's start with the biggest news, and this was the news that came toward the end of the conference, toward the end of the video, I should say, and that is the release date and the release price of the PlayStation 5. The release date is going to be November 12th for people in the United States and Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, South Korea. I believe those are the countries. Might be one or two missing. Those countries are going to get it on November 12th. The rest of the world will get it on November 19th. So just a little bit of a wait. As someone who lives in Japan, it's great. We don't have to wait 3 months like we did last time. Getting it that first day is fantastic. I wish everyone around the world could get the first day, and I'm sure that there's probably reasons for that, why they're staggering the launch, but I think it's fantastic and that it's coming out in the middle of November. I think it's good timing, and it's going to be great. And also, it's very close to the Xbox Series X and Series S launch, which I believe November 10th. So there's going to be a big battle between those two companies on that day. But of course, the thing everyone was wondering, the price. Was this system going to be too expensive to own? Everyone was talking about all these like proprietary things that Sony's put in there. The cooling system is expensive. Adding the disk drive is expensive. The SSD hard drive is going to be really expensive. Well, guess what? They announced the price tag. The disc version of the PlayStation 5 is $500 or 50,000 yen. A fantastic price for that. But even better is the digital version. $400, 40,000 yen. That's an incredible price for the same level of quality you get with the disc version. Just get digital games. And this is something that I think a lot of people were surprised about. There were a lot of people thinking that was going to be $450. Many people didn't think it would get down to 400 or even lower. Of course, it didn't get lower. It got to 400. So people were pretty well surprised by that. And now this really brings up the question is how will this affect Xbox Series S, which was announced last week for $300. Series S is a much less powerful machine. It does play next generation games, but it's nowhere near as powerful as a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X. And it doesn't look as tempting or interesting to, I think, a lot of people now that the PlayStation 5, you can get the cheapest version for $400 and get that full next generation experience right from that system. So I think Microsoft probably are in a really interesting pickle there regarding that system. I think Sony is being very aggressive here. I think it's a great move, and I think that is going to be a very big success for them. Good price, good release date. Now let's talk about the games, because they talked about a lot of games. They talked about a couple of different services they're going to be offering. The first game they showed, and the only game they showed that did not come from PlayStation 5 gameplay itself, it was from PC, because obviously this game is probably early in development. They announced Final Fantasy 16. After all these years of waiting, hoping for a new Final Fantasy, we haven't had a new Final Fantasy in quite a while. Obviously, Final Fantasy 15 came out many years ago, and even then, that game was originally Final Fantasy Versus 13, so it was announced, like in the mid-2000s. So to finally get a single player new Final Fantasy, and one that has a medieval feel to it, is wow. I'm just really shocked by that. I'm happy for that. I'm glad we're getting that. A Final Fantasy with that classic style is fantastic. And even better, or I guess I wouldn't say it's even better, is that this is this is a huge win for Sony because it's a console exclusive. It's only coming out on Sony PlayStation. So Sony has really like knocked one out of the park here very simply. A big grand slam home run by getting this title. Now, interesting enough, it does say that in the original stream that it was coming to the PC as well. I've heard that some news sites have tried talking to Square Enix about that, and they're not talking about the PC version. They're only talking about a PlayStation 5 version. So it's not going to come out for a very long time out there. We don't know when it's coming out after that, but we know it's coming. So Final Fantasy 16 finally announced with a great classic FF style. It sounds really, really good. We saw Spider-Man Miles Morales gameplay footage. Looks great. Looks fantastic. Looks like Spider-Man as you expect it to be. And that game is coming out on launch. And it's coming out on launch. And we're going to talk more about that in a minute. But interesting enough, it's also going to come out on PS4. Yes, they announced today that some of the games that were coming out for launch or coming out next year will also come out for PS4, and Spider-Man is one of them. Horizon, the new Horizon game is coming out as well on PS4. And there's been some controversy because some people are saying, hey, Sony wasn't saying they were ever going to do this. They only wanted to do like new generation games, next generation games, not cross generation. But obviously, they've stepped back a little bit and said, look, yeah, we're going to make some of these games available for the PS4. I think it's a good move. It's a move that people seem to like from Microsoft. So I think Sony doing that is a good move for them, too. I prefer that they would spend more time making the games just perfect for the PlayStation 5. But hey, it's a good chance to get people to play PlayStation 4 if they can to get a PlayStation 5 up front right now. So I'm okay with it. It's not a big deal. And Spider-Man looked really cool. Next, we got a trailer for something we've kind of known about for a long time. A new Harry Potter game called Hogwarts Legacy comes out next year. Looks fantastic. Seems to be set in the 1800s. And it looks just like a Harry Potter game should look like. The whole world of Hogwarts is there. I'm looking forward to that incredibly. I think it's going to be a great addition to the gaming world of Harry Potter. There's been some good games out there, particularly that Lego game that came out many years ago. I really liked that one. So that was a nice one. We then saw some Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War gameplay from the PS5. It was a really nice assassination mission, very cinematic, of course, where you have to chase a plane that's trying to take off. Really, really cool. Really, really cool segment. And they had a big announcement where they said that the Call of Duty Black Ops multiplayer is going to be playable this weekend on PlayStation. They're going to release an alpha, and you can play it this weekend. So I might jump on that and see if it's any good. So that was a cool announcement. We then got a new trailer for Resident Evil Village, the 8th installment of the Resident Evil franchise, the 8th installment of the numbering system games. Again, looks really good. It's very interesting, but we didn't get much there. We know that that's coming out again next year, so that's really was cool. We then saw some footage of Deathloop, a game from Arcane Studios and Bethesda. This game was recently delayed until quarter 2 of next year. It's a game where basically you're out to assassinate these like 8 targets, but someone's trying to assassinate you, and if you die you have to go back in time and do it all over again. Looked really cool. It looks has a lot of style and substance to it, and obviously it's disappointing the game was delayed, but I really want to see that game do really well. It looked really fantastic. We got a trailer for a Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition that will be available at launch digitally. I'm not a big fan of Devil May Cry 5. I just didn't like the style of that game when it was presented, so I never played it. But I think it's great for fans of that series because it is a big series, and to get a special edition of that is going to be really, really awesome. We then saw a new Oddworld game, Soulstorm. I've never really played much of Oddworld games, but it's cool to see that game coming to PlayStation 5 soon. or I'm not sure if it's soonish or something. It's maybe next year. It looked really really cool. Then we got a Five Nights at Freddy's. I think it was called Security Breach. Didn't really show much there, but I'm a fan of the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. I really love the VR game. That is a fun game to play. If you've never played Five Nights at Freddy's VR, get a VR headset and play that game because it is legitimately scary. It's legitimately creepy and a lot of fun. And it's amazing they could take a horror game that was on the cell phone that was just jump scary and make it into a really creepy VR game. This one though, we don't see much other than a trailer. It looks really really interesting, and I'm up for any more Five Nights at Freddy's. So that was a cool thing to show. Then we saw gameplay from Demon Souls, and my God, Demon Souls looks fantastic. I'm just floored by this game. Demon Souls is my favorite Souls game of all time. And I remember the year I played that game where I literally spent like a whole year like devoted to that game and trying to get through it. And when I beat it, it was one of my best and favorite moments in gaming. It looks great. It looks exactly like I'd hope it would look. I think the team at Blue Point Games have done a good job at this. The fact that it's coming out so soon, not too surprising because we've known this game has been rumored to be in works for years. So I'm glad to see that it's coming out sooner rather than later. So that's going to be a great launch title, and one I highly recommend anyone gets. Even if you're not a Souls fan, Demon Souls is still worth it. We got a trailer for Fortnite to say it will be launching on the PlayStation 5 on launch date. So it'll have like better graphics. I think it's running on with the new Unreal Engine 4 or something. I can't even remember which one that was. But anyway, they talked about that. Then they talked about something called the PS Plus Collection, which would be a collection of many high quality, big name titles, both first party and third party, that will be available for download and for play on the PlayStation 5. Some fantastic titles seen in there. We saw some Infamous in there. We saw, I think it was God of War was in there, if I can remember correctly. No, I don't think God of War was not in there, but we did see a lot of other games. What was that one I'm trying to think of? Persona 5. Persona 5 was in there. I was like, oh, that's a nice third party to get game in there. And Batman. Was it? Arkham Knight was also in there, so that's another third party game. I'm really blanking here because, like, man, there was so much information, it was crazy. So it's pretty cool that they have this new service as far as PlayStation Plus to get a lot of games to be able to play on the PlayStation 5, and apparently going to be maybe a little bit upgraded. I'm not 100% sure about that. It's still a confusing thing, but it looked pretty cool. And finally, the last thing they did, they had a nice little teaser of the next God of War. I believe it's called Ragnarok. At least they talk about Ragnarok is coming. But here's the big shocker. It's coming out next year. God of War, the sequel, comes out next year. How cool is that? That is one of the coolest things out there. I am so stoked for that. I cannot wait for that. A new God of War next year, especially after the last one, how fantastic it was. And that was it. That was the entire presentation. They showcased amazing games. Final Fantasy 16 looked incredible. Hogwarts Legacy looked really, really great. Obviously, that's going to come out to multiple systems. Spider-Man looked fantastic. What else did I like on there? Demon Souls just looked absolutely what I hoped it would look like. That looks like the game to get at launch for certain. I love the PS Plus launch collection or PS Plus collection of games that you can get. So there's plenty of games to play on the system when you take it home. Of course, the God of War announcement was awesome. Now, of course, I said before that they announced that some of these games will be going to PS4 as well. I think that's fine. Horizon Forbidden West and Spider-Man, if you want to put those on PS4, go ahead. But make sure the PS5 is the best version. Make sure the PS5 is the version that has all the bells and whistles that you would expect a full-fledged PS5 game to have. But I have no problem with that. We also found out that there was a question about backwards compatibility, and apparently I think it was Jack Ryan's PlayStation or someone there. Sorry, Jim Ryan, not Jack Ryan. Jack Ryan, isn't that like a movie character? Man, I'm so stupid. Jim Ryan announced that 99% of PlayStation 4 games will be backwards compatible with PlayStation 5. My guess is that 1% is probably games that kind of stopped working or internet games and things like that. So that's pretty cool. I expected that. Everyone was worrying when when Mark Cerny was saying, "Oh, well, the top 100 games are going to be working." I said, "No, they're all going to work. They're all going to work on there." So 99% of the games are going to work are fantastic. I think it's a good number. There was also a lot of confusion because there was some interesting things on some of the trailers for these games. For instance, Demon Souls had on the bottom of its screen at the end with the title, it said PlayStation exclusive. It said also coming to PC, and it said also that it's going to come to other consoles later on. Now this is really crazy because that's a Sony license. Wait a minute, that's a Sony product, a Sony intellectual property product. There's no way that's going to be on the Xbox. That's no way that's going to be on those systems. Well, it turns out it was a mistake. They had a couple mistakes like that, and they had to fix that really quickly. But other than that, they basically blew it out of the park. The PlayStation 5 is poised, I think, to be something really special. We have a great system that is launching at a great price. It's on parity with the Xbox Series X, with the best version of this, with this version of the system, and the digital version, which is the exact same specs, is only $400, and a very, very good price point for those systems. I think Microsoft is going to have to really hope that the power of the system is the main draw, will get people to buy it over the PlayStation. Because right now, in terms of games, the games that we've seen so far, all the games they've shown have been fantastic looking on PlayStation, and those are the games that people want to see. I think Microsoft dropped the ball, obviously, with the Halo screw-ups, with all the bullshot trailers, with all the video from PCs. I think that they have been outplayed by every step by Sony and the PR movement here. And this has been an absolute incredible moment for Sony. I think there's going to be an incredible number of people who are going to be very excited to go get a PlayStation 5. And as a PlayStation fan myself, I'm not going to lie, I'm a PlayStation fan. I was really blown away by what they showed today. They absolutely gave me everything I wanted. I wanted Final Fantasy 16. We're getting it. I wanted Demon Souls. Obviously, we knew we were getting it. Well, I wanted gameplay. They gave it to us today. They gave us a God of War teaser to get us ready for that, even though we knew it's coming. I liked the PlayStation Plus stuff that was shown. That was really cool. Some things I wish they would have shown more of. Number one, I think that it would be very nice if there had been, more Japanese games on there. There was a lot more Western games. I would have loved to see more Japanese games there. Obviously, TGS is coming, so we'll see some of those. I would have also loved to see what their plans for PlayStation Now would have been, because obviously Microsoft, their butter right now, their bread and butter is nothing but Game Pass. Game Pass is so important to them. Sony has PlayStation Now, which can be a Game Pass for them if they were to put resources into it, but so far they haven't. So it's going to be very interesting to see how people react here. And the best thing for a lot of people in Japan, the pre-orders are going to start tomorrow at 10 a.m., which is Friday, September 18th at 10 a.m. Now, interestingly enough, it was supposed to start, Thursday in the United States in the West, and unfortunately, apparently, many stores have already jumped the gun and started offering pre-orders, and there's a lot of crazy confusion and frustration going on as people are trying to pre-order their systems now. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens over the next couple of days and next couple of weeks to see how these systems are going to be pre-orders, how the sales of pre-orders are going to be, how the launches go. But right now, I think that Sony is poised for an incredible win this generation. They have the most anticipated first party titles, some of the most anticipated third party titles, of course, as well. They have a great system that they've built. They have like exciting new things such as the haptic feeling technology. They have such interesting things that can be brought over to this system that are just going to be great. And I think right now Microsoft, obviously, ever since the Halo pullback, where they're not releasing until next year, and a lot of other decisions that have been made, they're in a situation where, yes, they have the most powerful system on the market, and they also have a very cheap secondary system, but they just don't have the games right now. And that is something that I'm worried about for them, because I do want to see them succeed, but obviously they're not in the same ballpark right now with Sony. I think Sony is just absolutely in a great position. And so I thought it was fantastic. I think it was great. I'm sold on PlayStation 5. When will I get one? I would love to pre-order tomorrow, but I probably won't because of my own situation. But I hope to get one as soon as possible come 2021. Obviously, there's going to be some great games to play, and I cannot wait to try them out. And you know what? The best thing is us gamers win. We're winning by getting great experiences and great new games and great new things to do and play and explore. So, what a show by Sony! A plus easily. You did a great job, and I cannot wait to play the PlayStation 5 later this year. I may not own one, but I'm definitely going to be playing it. Anyway, until next time, hopefully it's sooner than later. This has been Matt. I hope you enjoyed yourself here. Give a like if you liked it. Give a dislike if you dislike it. And leave a comment if you want to. Definitely, if you have any suggestions or any questions, I'll be glad to get to them for you. So no worries there. Anyway, until next time, see you later. Until next time, this has been Raywood Gaming Matt saying good luck on getting a PS5 pre-order. Wish I could get one.